Hello, creative friends. This is Joy coming to you with another art journal page. This particular journal, I decided to do a similar background as I did on the one that I did a couple weeks ago for the CAC Fantasy art. And I decided to do a background with acrylic paint. And I'm just putting down some white acrylic paint with some blue acrylic paint in the background here to create a sky scene. And then I wanted to create a water scene underneath that. So I'm going to use this metallic paint, silver metallic and antique gold metallic paint to create the water scene that I want to create here in the background. So this particular journal page, I wanted to do something similar, like I said, to the one that I did a couple weeks ago for the fantasy art group, and but do another girl with some wings. But instead of doing butterfly wings, I decided this time I would do angel wings. So I looked through my stash and I found a girl that I thought would work really nice on this page to where I could do angel wings. And here I'm trying to create some water, like a water area, and kind of a beach with, here I'm using like white to try to put some highlights, some white caps and stuff in the water here. And I really like the way that this page ended up turning out. I thought it turned out really nice in the end when I was done with it. So I was really pleased with it. And here I'm just continuing to try to add white to highlight the water area and put some like white caps on the waves and whatnot. So you'll see here in a minute, I actually got the idea for the water from the page here. I'm showing you the page that I cut the girl from. It had like kind of a water scene in the background. So that's kind of like what I'm trying to duplicate, or make it look like, that kind of same look and feel. So here I am adding some of the dark back in, because when I was going over it with the white, it seemed like I lost some of the dark. And of course, after going over it with the dark, I felt like there was areas that needed some more white. So I kind of was going back and forth until I ended up, getting the look that I was going for, and to, where I was happy with it. And I, was, like I said, really happy with this page in the end, the way it turned out. It turned out really nice. And it's, probably, this actually is a good page, I guess, to, for this time, because yesterday's Easter, and this wasn't particularly done for Easter because I did this a couple weeks ago, but it seems like a pretty good time to post this. And here I laid the girl down that I wanted to put on this page, and I'm just trying to sketch out the wings that I wanted to put on her. So I'm just doing a quick sketch of how I want them to be so that I can paint them in. So here I decided to use the silver and the antique gold like I did for the waves to do the wings as well. So I did 2 piles of white acrylic paint, and in one pile I mixed in the silver metallic paint, and the other I mixed in the antique gold metallic paint. I figured if I used metallic paint for the wings, it would give them a nice shimmer, and it'd make them really pretty. So I put down a coat of the white and antique gold metallic paint first as the background and as the darker color. And I laid it down in a thin layer to begin with, because I was going to have where you could see the background through the wings. And then I do end up, filling it in and darkening it up, because it didn't really make sense that the background would be showing through the wings, since these are supposed to be angel wings. They're not really butterfly wings. So I do go over it again with another coat just to kind of darken it up, and then by the time I put on the silver highlights and then use my Posca paint pens to do all the detail work on, it pretty much covers up any of the background. You can't really see the background through the wings. But I decided I've always actually for some time wanted to do some kind of an image with angel wings, and so I looked through my stash, found the image of the girl that I found, and I thought that this would, make a really nice art journal page. So I'm really glad that I finally got around to doing something like this, because I've been wanting to do something like this, like I said, for quite some time, and just haven't really gotten around to doing it. So here, like I said, I'm adding in the white acrylic paint mixed with silver for highlights, and basically just going along the top of the feathers, and then doing hash marks or little, stippling on the inside of the wings to make it look like that, there's a variation between the darker color and the lighter color. So I get out my Posca pens, and I use the white paint pen to trace around the wings and to do all of the detail work on the wings. And I really like the way that it turned out. It actually turned out really nice in the end, once all the detail work in the wings got completed. And so I was really pleased with it. And here I'm just trying to put in the highlights on the upper part of the feathers, and underneath, I guess, around the feathers, trying to do some more highlighting rather than just having it outlined. And then I go in and start doing some hashing marks on the feathers to do the detail work on the feathers. I ended up doing the detail work on all of these feathers, and then decided that they needed to extend further into the wing. So you'll see here in a minute where I extend them further into the wing. Here, yeah, here's where I go and extend them further in, because it just looked like they needed to be extended further in. So after doing the hash marks on the feathers in the middle part of the wing, I kind of did some highlighted kind of dashes or like half moons to do some patterning on the inside of the wing, which you'll see that here in a minute too. And I tried to speed this up as much as possible so that, you didn't have to sit through a really long video. Actually, this is sped up 450 times, so that goes to kind of show you, you know, how long this actually took. It was time consuming, but I'm really pleased with, like I said, the way that it turned out. I thought it turned out really neat. So here I'm starting on the other side. And the challenge with the other side is that the wing is going off the page. And at first I was looking at it trying to figure out, well, you know, how far should those feathers come in? And, you know, where is the middle part? How far does that extend? And so I did some detail work on the lower feathers, but wasn't sure about the upper feathers because, you know, I can't see, you know, how far out they go to see if they match the other side. And so I decided, well, what I would do is figure out, okay, where's the inside of this wing, and, you know, to get it to match the other side. And so I started from the inside and then worked my way out, and that worked, you know, much better. And it you know, at least looked like by the time I was finished with the wings, they at least looked like they matched. And they were pretty similar, close enough, you know, for, you know, what I was doing here. And then I went back in here and finished up the rest of the feathers on the other side that went off the page, with some hash marks and detail work there as well. And I was, after I did this, I was like debating, well, should I trace around it with maybe a black marker or something to kind of make them stand out more? But I decided not to. I really like the look of them, the way that, you know, it turned out. So I was like, no, I'm just going to leave it like that. I think they turned out really, really cool. So here I'm cutting out the quotes that I found. And it says, I know that miracles happen. And the other quote says, get ready to shine. Here I'm erasing any pencil marks that I could see from my wings, where the paint didn't, you know, cover up the pencil marks. And I'm using Collage Page to collage down the girl, the image of the girl, and to collage down my quotes that I found. And like I said, I found these two quotes in my stash, and I thought they went really well with the page and what I was, you know, doing here and what I was wanting it to represent and to say. So I glued, as you saw there, the back of the image, and now I'm going around the edges, making sure that all the edges is good and glued, and then using a credit card to smooth it all out and to remove any air bubbles, and then go over the top of it with the Collage Page to make sure that it's, you know, good and sealed and glued down on the page. And then I put down the quotes that I found. And yeah, my brown mat here, I really love it because it, you know, says that it's heat proof and nothing will stick to it. And boy, they're right, nothing sticks to it, but it just wasn't big enough. And I searched and searched and searched and finally found one that was like 3 times as big to cover my whole desk. So I'm really happy with that. But this was done before I found the bigger mat. So I made sure those were dry, and I'm going around outlining them in a dark blue. And I do have at the end of the video some close-ups of all the details, you know, of this page, so you'll be able to see some close-ups of this page at the end. And at this point, after I finished outlining everything, I kind of was thinking, you know, okay, well, it's done, but you'll see here in a minute that I just kept looking at it thinking, you know, this, I don't know, it seems like it needs something else to it. So I decided that the girl needed some of the gold on her to kind of make her really shine. So I decided to take my gold metallic paint and then do some more detail work on her. So I gave her a headband and a necklace, and I put some bracelets around her arm, and put a belt around her dress. And then so I really was, pleased with it when I was done. I really thought, that it looked really nice, and I really liked the way it turned out. So that's pretty much this art journal page. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you like, subscribe, or leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. And if you subscribe to my channel, then you'll get notifications of any other videos that I post, that I create and post. So you can subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and that way you won't miss a video that I do. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video and try this sometime. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.